this video, I'll be walking you through expense codes. So click on Expense and Settings and the Expense Codes tab. Users can create a new expense code, edit an existing one, or delete a code. And it's also important to note that users can only delete an expense code if it has never been used to avoid corrupt data. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new expense code. And here you'll want to fill in the code name. And then we have the description field here. This is what shows when entering in the expense code on the expense entry screen. So for example, you may have a code which you've named AA101, and then you want to make sure that you type in the code name over here as well, because nothing will come up in the auto population when you start typing in the code in the expense entry screen unless you have the code number included in this description field, because this is where the information will be pulled from. So let's go ahead and click on this. And then we have the narrative. The narrative will always supersede the description when the expense code is selected. So the narrative is the default message that pre-fills into the expense entry description. This is a useful field if you want more than just the description of the expense code to show up. And then you can specify the billable type. So is it billable, non-billable, or no charge? And then we can set a default price per unit, a default quantity, a markup percentage, and then summarized means a single expense entry will appear on a generated invoice when the expense entry is created with the same timekeeper, expense code, matter, date, and planned task to do. So whenever all these entities are identical, then all those expense entries will merge into one single listed entry on the invoice. And then we have taxable, so enabling this will mark it as a soft cost. This is mainly used for our QuickBooks integration. And then you can mark it as a hard cost as well by selecting this checkbox. And you can enable and disable this code by toggling this checkbox.